The text from my mother-in-law lit up my phone as I was putting the twins down for their nap. Emma, dear, just wanted to let you know we've had to cancel the twins' birthday party. The deposit is non-refundable, but we found a better use for the remaining funds. They're only turning 4. They won't even remember. Talk soon, xoxo. I stared at my phone, my hands trembling with rage. The $5,000 I'd given them last week wasn't just party money. It was every extra dollar I'd scraped together over the past year, working double shifts at the hospital while raising twins alone since their father's death. My in-laws had insisted on handling the party arrangements, claiming they wanted to take some burden off the widow. Another text buzzed through. By the way, Harold and I are leaving for our cruise tomorrow. 2 weeks in the Caribbean. We simply couldn't pass up such a great deal. The kids will understand. I looked over at my sleeping children, Lily and Lucas, their matching blonde curls splayed across their pillows. They'd been talking about their birthday party for months, excited about the bouncy castle and petting zoo their grandparents had promised. Now those dreams were funding another of Patricia and Harold's impulsive vacations. Emma, are you there? Don't be difficult about this. The kids won't care. They're barely old enough to know what day it is. My fingers hovered over the phone, but instead of responding, I opened my banking app. Just as I suspected, they transferred the money to their personal account the same day I'd given it to them. Not a single deposit had been made to any party vendors. This wasn't the first time they'd taken advantage, but it would definitely be the last. Since James died 2 years ago, his parents had treated me like an incompetent child, questioning my parenting decisions, showing up unannounced, and constantly reminding me how lucky I was to have them. They'd even tried to contest James's will when they discovered he'd left everything to me and the kids. You're too young to manage such responsibility, Patricia had said, her voice dripping with condescension. We'll handle the finances, it's what James would have wanted. But James had known exactly what he was doing. In the months before his accident, he confided in me about his parents' manipulative behavior, their constant money problems disguised as concern for family. He'd set up ironclad trusts for the twins and made sure everything was in my name. What my in-laws didn't know was that I'd been documenting everything since James's death, every manipulative text, every financial violation, every attempt to undermine my parenting. Their latest stunt was just the final piece of evidence I needed. I picked up my phone and made 2 calls. The first was to my lawyer, Sarah Martinez, who'd been helping me build a case for a restraining order. The second was to my sister Kate, who worked for the cruise line my in-laws had booked with. They did what? Kate exclaimed, her voice rising with indignation. Hold on, let me look up their booking. Found it. Caribbean Deluxe Package, departure tomorrow at 11 a.m. Want me to work some customer service magic? I smiled for the first time since receiving Patricia's text. Just flagged their payment for review. I have a feeling that transaction might raise some red flags. Consider it done, Kate replied. And Emma, it's time you stop letting them walk all over you. She was right. I've been trying to keep the peace for the twins' sake, wanting them to have grandparents in their life. But Patricia and Harold had proven time and again that they saw their grandchildren as pawns, not people to cherish. My phone buzzed again. Another text from Patricia. We'll bring the kids some souvenirs. Much better than some silly party they won't remember. I took a deep breath and typed out my response. Thanks for letting me know about the cruise. I'm sure the fraud department will find that information very helpful. Enjoy your trip. Within seconds, my phone was ringing. I declined the call and instead sent them an email, copying my lawyer. Dear Patricia and Harold, I have documented evidence of you misappropriating $5,000 intended for your grandchildren's birthday celebration. This follows a pattern of financial and emotional manipulation since James's death. My lawyer will be contacting you with formal documentation, including a restraining order petition. The cruise line has been notified of the fraudulent payment. I suggest you cancel your travel plans and return the money immediately. Any further communication must go through my lawyer. Emma. I turned off my phone and went to check on the twins. They were just waking up, their matching blue eyes blinking sleepily. Mama, Lily mumbled. Is it our birthday party soon? I sat on the edge of their bed, pulling them both close. Actually, sweethearts, we're going to have an even better party. Just us and the people who really love you. Can we still have a bouncy castle? Lucas asked hopefully. Even better, I promised. We're going to have the best birthday celebration ever, and no one's going to take that away from you. As I held my children, I could feel my phone vibrating continuously in my pocket. No doubt Patricia and Harold, realizing their Caribbean cruise dreams, were evaporating. But for the first time in 2 years, I felt no obligation to answer, no guilt about standing up to their manipulation. James would have been proud. He'd always said I was stronger than I knew. It was time to prove him right. My lawyer called later that evening after the twins were asleep. The cruise line has canceled their booking and frozen the payment, she reported. They tried to check in anyway and apparently caused quite a scene at the port. Security had to get involved. I could imagine Patricia's face turning that particular shade of purple it got when things didn't go her way. Have they tried to contact you? Sarah asked. I turned my phone back on about an hour ago. 17 missed calls, 38 text messages, and 5 voicemails. All variations of how ungrateful and cruel I am for ruining their vacation. Perfect, Sarah said. Every message helps build our case. The restraining order petition will be filed first thing tomorrow morning. In the meantime, I suggest you start planning one amazing birthday party. I looked at the party supplies I'd already ordered online. A massive bounce house water slide combo, a mobile petting zoo, and a cake that would make my twins' eyes light up. The party would be at our house now, surrounded by true friends and family who loved Lily and Lucas for who they were, not what they could be manipulated into. Patricia and Harold had tried to steal my children's special day, but in doing so, they'd given me an unexpected gift, the strength to finally cut them out of our lives. The twins' birthday was 2 weeks away, and this time, no one would ruin their celebration. The 2 weeks leading up to the twins' birthday were surprisingly peaceful. With my in-laws' number blocked and the restraining order in place, I could focus on what really mattered, making Lily and Lucas's 4th birthday truly special. But peace never lasts long when Patricia and Harold are involved. 3 days before the party, I was at work when the hospital receptionist called up to the pediatric ward where I was on shift. Emma, there are 2 people insisting on seeing you. They say they're the twins' grandparents. My stomach tightened. They're not allowed contact with me. If they don't leave, call security. I peered down from the nurse's station window and saw Patricia and Harold in the lobby, Patricia waving a gift bag dramatically, while Harold demanded to speak to someone in charge. Their Caribbean cruise clothes looked oddly out of place against the sterile hospital background. This is ridiculous, Patricia's voice echoed through the lobby. We have rights. Those are our grandchildren. Security arrived quickly, and I watched as my in-laws were escorted out, Patricia still clutching her gift bag like a shield. I didn't need to see inside to know it would be full of cheap souvenirs, their standard attempt at buying forgiveness. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Harold using a different phone. You're making a huge mistake. Patricia's hired a lawyer. We'll take the twins if we have to. You can't keep them from us. I forwarded the message to Sarah, who responded immediately. Perfect. Their threats just strengthened our case. The hearing's tomorrow. This timing couldn't be better. That evening, I sat the twins down for a difficult conversation. They were young, but they deserved some explanation about why their grandparents wouldn't be at their party. Sometimes, I explained, watching their matching confused expressions, grown-ups make bad choices that mean they can't be around for a while. Did Grandma and Grandpa make bad choices? Lily asked, her small face scrunched in concentration. Yes, sweetheart, they did. Is that why they took our party money? Lucas added, surprising me with his perception. I pulled them both close. Yes, but that's why we're having an even better party here at home, with people who love us and make good choices. The next morning, I faced Patricia and Harold across the courtroom. They'd dressed for sympathy, Patricia in a conservative dress that screamed devoted grandmother, Harold in a suit that had seen better days. Their lawyer presented a sob story about loving grandparents being alienated from their precious grandchildren. Then Sarah stood up and methodically laid out our evidence. Financial records showing the stolen party money, screenshots of threatening messages, documentation of their past attempts to contest James's will, and statements from witnesses detailing their pattern of manipulation. Furthermore, Sarah concluded, their recent threats to take the twins demonstrate exactly why this restraining order is necessary. The judge agreed. The temporary order was made permanent. Patricia and Harold were legally required to stay away from us. No contact, no visits, no more showing up unannounced to cause scenes. As we left the courthouse, Patricia called out, "You're just like your mother, selfish and cruel. James would be ashamed of you." I turned my voice steady. "No, Patricia. James knew exactly who you were. It's why he made sure you'd never have control over his children's lives." Her face went pale. Harold tried to step forward, but his lawyer held him back. That night, Kate came over to help with final party preparations. "You know they're not going to give up easily," she said as we hung streamers across the backyard. "I know," I replied, adjusting a balloon arch. But for the first time since James died, I'm not afraid of them anymore. The twins were already asleep upstairs, their excitement for tomorrow's party having worn them out. I checked the security cameras, a new addition since the restraining order, and made sure everything was locked up tight. "James would be really proud of you," Kate said softly. "You're giving the twins the protection and stability he wanted for them." I touched the locket I always wore, the one with James pictured inside. He tried to warn me about them years ago. I just wasn't ready to hear it then. And now? Now I'm done letting them hurt my family. We finished decorating late into the night. The backyard had been transformed into a magical space, with the bounce house water slide combo already set up, tables arranged for tomorrow's guests, and a special area prepared for the petting zoo animals that would arrive in the morning. Everything was perfect, but I knew better than to let my guard down. Patricia and Harold had never respected boundaries before. A legal document wouldn't change that overnight. I'd hired security for the party, disguised as party staff. The real guests had already been notified of the situation and given specific instructions about not letting the twins out of sight. It felt extreme, but I knew my in-laws well enough to expect them to try something. As I lay in bed that night, my phone lit up with another unknown number. This time it was a voicemail from Patricia. "You think you've won, but this isn't over. Those children need their grandparents. You're denying them their heritage, their connection to James. We'll see how the judge feels when we show them what an unstable mother you really are." I forwarded the voicemail to Sarah and tried to sleep, but Patricia's words kept echoing in my mind. Not because I believed them, but because they confirmed what I'd always known. My in-laws would never stop trying to control us. Tomorrow would be a test. The twins deserved their perfect birthday party, and I was determined to give it to them, no matter what Patricia and Harold might try to do to stop it. I checked the security cameras one last time before closing my eyes. Everything was quiet, but somehow I knew tomorrow would bring chaos. Patricia and Harold had never been able to stand being excluded, being proven wrong, or most importantly, being shown up. The party wasn't just a celebration anymore, it was a statement. And my in-laws had never been good at accepting statements they didn't write themselves. The morning of the twins' birthday dawned bright and perfect. The sound of excited squeals filled the house as Lily and Lucas discovered their special birthday breakfast, pancakes shaped like their favorite animals. "Mama, look, mine's a giraffe," Lily exclaimed. "And mine's an elephant," Lucas added, drowning his pancake in syrup. Everything was going smoothly. The petting zoo handlers arrived early to set up their enclosure. The bounce house was already inflating, and Kate was helping coordinate the catering setup. Our security team, dressed casually in polo shirts, maintained a subtle presence around the property. The first guests started arriving at noon, friends from the twins' preschool, our neighbors, my coworkers from a hospital, and their children. The backyard filled with laughter and excitement. I was helping Lucas feed a baby goat when one of the security team members touched his earpiece and approached me discreetly. "Ma'am, there's a situation at the front gate. Your in-laws are here with a police officer." My heart dropped, but I was prepared for this. "Stay with the twins," I told Kate, and made my way to the front. Patricia and Harold stood at my gate, a young police officer beside them. Patricia clutched a large gift-wrapped box, while Harold waved papers in the air. "See," Patricia was saying to the officer, "we're their grandparents. She's keeping us from our own grandchildren on their birthday." I approached calmly, the restraining order documentation ready on my phone. "Officer, I'm Emma Mitchell. These individuals are legally barred from contacting me or my children. Here's the court order from yesterday." The officer reviewed the documents on my phone, then turned to my in-laws. "Ma'am, sir, this is a valid restraining order. You need to leave the premises immediately." "This is ridiculous. Harold exploded. We have rights. Those are our grandchildren. Your rights were revoked when you stole their birthday party money for a cruise, I said firmly. Please leave before this becomes more embarrassing for you. Patricia thrust the gift toward me. At least let us give them their presents. We're not monsters. Like the souvenirs you tried to bring to the hospital? I asked. No thank you. The twins don't need your guilt gifts. The officer stepped between us. Sir, ma'am, if you don't leave now, I'll have to arrest you for violating the restraining order. Patricia's face contorted with rage. She hurled the gift box at my feet, where it burst open, revealing cheap tourist trinkets from their cruise. You ungrateful witch. You've poisoned our grandchildren against us. James would be disgusted with you. That's when we heard small voices behind me. Mama? Why is Grandma yelling? The twins stood there with Kate, their eyes wide with confusion. Patricia immediately switched to her sugary sweet grandmother voice. Lily, Lucas, darlings, come give Grandma a hug. We brought you presents. Before she could move, the officer stepped forward. That's enough. You're both under arrest for violating the restraining order. As he called for backup, I hurried the twins back to their party. Behind us, I could hear Patricia's hysterical screams and Harold's blustering threats. Mama? Lucas asked as we walked. Are Grandma and Grandpa in trouble? I knelt down to their level. Yes, sweetheart. They made bad choices again. But you know what? We're not going to let that ruin your special day. And we didn't. The party continued wonderfully. The twins rode pommies, bounced until they were breathless, and delighted in their 3-tier castle cake. They were surrounded by people who truly loved them, who showed up not to control or manipulate, but to celebrate their joy. Later, after the last guest had left and the twins were asleep upstairs, exhausted but happy, Kate helped me clean up. You know this isn't overt, she said, collecting stray balloon pieces. I know, I replied. But today proved something important. We can be happy without them. The twins can have wonderful memories that don't include Patricia and Harold's drama. My phone buzzed with a text from Sarah. Patricia and Harold were released on bail. They're being charged with violating the restraining order. This strengthens our case significantly. I looked around at the aftermath of our perfect party. The deflating bounce house, the remnants of cake, the happy birthday banner swaying in the evening breeze. My in-laws had tried to steal this from us. I tried to replace it with their cheap souvenirs and guilt trips. Instead, they'd given us an unexpected gift. The strength to stand together as a family, just the three of us. Upstairs, I peeked in on the twins. They clutched their new stuffed animals from the petting zoo, their faces peaceful in sleep. On their nightstand sat a framed photo of James, his smile watching over them. We did it, I whispered to his picture. We gave them the birthday they deserved. And I promise you, no one will ever steal their joy again. Tomorrow would bring me challenges. Patricia and Harold would likely escalate their attempts to regain control. But for now, in this moment, we were happy. We were free. And that was the best birthday gift of all.